everyone's looking for the young guy. They're looking for McVay. I think take a shot out Todd Bowles, get him a second shot at head coach, and see if he can do it.
I don't think they will. If they don't have Anthony Davis, I'm saying it right now. If Anthony Davis is out for the playoffs, they don't make it out of the first round.
It's crazy. And our kids will know how great Tom Brady is because he's going to be playing.
Yes, it is 15.0%.
That's what the Yankees brought Garrett Cole to do.
He was a 6th-round pick. This is a fairy tale story that's being written in front of our eyes.
People like to call them their JV team, and they just stole one of their better players.
They didn't struggle against the Padres. The Padres didn't really put up a fight in most of the games.
Jerry Jones, hope you're listening.
Hi, I'm Landon Bowe, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. You know, Austin, we timed this out perfectly well. Once again, I'm Kevin, and the big man on this show, Austin, for our top 10 centers.
Yeah, we've done all of the positions before this one. This is our last one. If you guys haven't checked out point guard, shooting guard, small forward, or power forward, please go do that. But this is it. This is what we're ending with. We're ending with centers, the 5 position. Kevin, I'll let you go first with your number 10.
This one, I'm curious if you have him on this list. My 10 is DeAndre Ayton.
I do not. I do not have DeAndre Ayton on my list. My number 10 is Rudy Gobert. He had a rough season last year, but I still think he's top 10. We'll have to see how this season progresses and if he can really get a hold of that center position with Karl-Anthony Towns playing the 4. That kind of arrangement didn't really work out for the Timberwolves last year, but if it does this year, I could see them being improved. The trade they obviously made for him is going to go down no matter what, almost as one of the worst trades ever. But it'll especially be that if they struggle again this next season.
Yeah, I like how we both chose 2 centers. Rudy Gobert provides value. And I do think Ayton provides value scoring-wise, and I do think he's a good rebounder, or a little bit. He's just I don't have Gobert on my list, but it was a possibility. But these guys have value, but I just prefer the value of everyone else above them.
Yeah.
So I'll go into my 9. It's Nick Claxton. He came on the scene. He's really a great defensive center. He just hasn't done it. He really came on last. I know he's always been good, but really top of the caliber center for just centers in general. And so I think he needs one more year, but he could definitely shoot up this list. What about who's your 9?
I agree. I have Claxton at 9 as well. Claxton's very talented. I was going back and forth between Claxton and Gobert, but I think because these rankings are for next season, they aren't necessarily based on the past, even though they are based on the past. This is how we think those players will progress, and I think Claxton is better than Gobert.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I paused because I was like, wait, I thought of a center, and I'm like, should I have him on this list? But we'll see where it goes. But yeah, who's your 8?
So my number 8 is Jared Allen. He's obviously the Cavs starting center. He was very good this past season. He's kind of the same mold that Claxton, Gobert type of player, high efficiency, can get some boards. He's a better rebounder than Claxton, but he didn't have as many blocks. He didn't have as many rebounds as Gobert, but I think he's very talented, and I think he'll have a resurgence season this next year.
Yeah, I'll get to him a little bit later. My 8 is Paolo Banchero. I'm not sure if he's on your list, but I really like him. I think he's great offensively, and I view him as a center. And defensively, he has some, but he provides a lot of value offensively. But to me, he's not a liability.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't seen anyone consider Paolo as a center. He played only 3% of his minutes at center last year, 70% at power forward, and 27% at small forward even. But so he did not make my list. I considered him for the power forward list, but I didn't have him here. My number 7 is Miles Turner, very talented big who had a his breakout year last year. We were all waiting for Miles Turner to finally get it together offensively and be able to shoot the ball efficiently and do some other things. And he finally did that. Before last year, his most points averaged in a season was 14.5. Last year, he averaged 18. He averaged the most rebounds per game of his career. He still averaged 2.3 blocks, so that was good. And he averaged 37%, which he had never done on the type of attempt numbers. He's attempted 4 attempts per game ish over the last 4 years, but last year was the first year he actually averaged above 35%. And he did that with the best field goal percentage of his career. He just had a great season, and I think he'll be great this year as well.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement. He is my 7 as well. Miles Turner, yeah, he's been a Mavs target. I've heard a lot about him, a fit with the Mavs, even though it's not happening. But yeah, he's a really great player, and I view him as a 7. I'll go into my 6. It's Jared Allen. So Turner really burst onto the scene last year. Jared Allen, to me, he's been a guy I've really liked. I wanted him on the Mavs. I thought when the Cavs got him, it was for relatively cheap. Great defender, and just has done it longer than more of these guys defensively, even though he did bring up some numbers on how I think Claxton was better than him, but to me, he's done it a little bit longer. But this is a big year for him and Mobley as well. But I still think he's borderline top 5 center.
Yeah. So you have Allen a little bit higher than me. My number 6 is Brook Lopez. I believe he should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. Didn't get it. And I already realized I'm forgetting a player that I said I would have here, right? Did I? 1 second. Let me check my power.
Well, I'll add, because Brook Lopez is the guy I'm like, wait, he's not on my list. And I was like, should he be on my list?
Yeah, so I'm going to make a quick adjustment and move everybody. I'll move Claxton to 10, Jared Allen to 8, Miles Turner. I'll keep Miles Turner at 7. I'm going to put Jaren Jackson Jr. at 8. I totally forgot that he was going to be, because I was thinking about him as a power forward, and so when I was doing my center list, I thought I had him on my power forward list, but then I realized, no, that's right. He played center last year, the majority. So I'm going to quick adjustment, and Gobert will be my honorable mention. And then my 7, I guess, now is, or my 8. Yeah, my 8's now Jaren Jackson. So my 6, Brook Lopez. I thought Brook Lopez was better than Jaren Jackson Jr. last year on the defensive side of the ball. He, I believe, should have been the Defensive Player of the Year. Didn't turn out. But I guess I had to make a quick adjustment to my list. Who is your – I'll go into my number 5. So my number 5 is Domantas Sabonis. Sabonis is an amazing talent. I've seen him as high as number 3 on other lists. I don't really agree with that. I think that he's talented, but he's not better than anybody above him on this list. He's a great passer, but his defensive liabilities kind of don't it puts a lot of trouble for the Kings when they go against a center like some of these top guys.
All right, I have Sabonis a little bit higher than you, and yeah, Jaren Jackson was my power forward, so I was like, oh, he's not on my list, but I checked, he's on my power forward list. But my 5 is Bam Adebayo. I think he's a great defensive center. He does struggle offensively, but to me, just his ability to hang with a lot of centers puts him up higher, and I trust him defensively over these other guys, while other guys have better offensively, like Miles Turner and Paulo. But yeah, so Bam Adebayo is my 5, then Sabonis is my 4, just because I really like Sabonis offensively. You did mention some limitations, but I think his production really puts him high up here. And yeah, I would take Sabonis over Adebayo, Jared Allen, Miles Turner. But once we get to I'm curious who you have at 4.
I have Bam, so we flip those. I have Bam at number 4. I believe he deserves it. I think his defensive prowess makes him better for the playoffs, in which case makes him a better player. He is his impact on the game, I think, is more during the playoffs, especially as we saw him guarding great centers. So I have him at 4.
I see. So yeah, that's a little funny.
I think we're going to have the top 3.
Yeah, and this is the top 3 I want to talk about. To me, these guys are just different.
I would agree. There is definitely a tier jump when you get to, I'll just say my top three from 3 to 1. It's Anthony Davis at 3, Joel Embiid at 2, and the best player in the league, in my opinion, Nikola Jokic at 1.
You sure you're not looking at my list? By the way, we have separate screens, so he's not looking at my list. That's just my list. So 3 Anthony Davis, 2 Joel Embiid, 1 Jokic. Jokic, I think, was a given.
Yeah.
But Embiid versus Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was tough for me because do I view him as a power forward or a center?
True. And I need Embiid to take that next step in the playoffs. I think he will this year, and that's why I have him higher than AD. But if he has another season where he's obviously not the best player on the court, because I thought Tatum was better than him during that series against the Celtics. If he's not the best player in the court in the second round, when you're supposed to be, especially when you're an MVP candidate, he will fall below AD. But AD's injury problems as well kind of put him in this range. But we agree on the top 5. We have a little bit of a different order between 4 and 5, but the top 3 were pretty set in stone.
Yeah, I'm surprised we have this much. But yeah, AD for me, the injuries, even though Embiid struggles with injuries, AD struggles them a little bit more. And Embiid adds a little bit more offensively, but you do bring up some questions for his playoff performance. But yeah, Jokic, I think there isn't much to talk about. He's just so good, and it's going to be tough for Jokic to, or for someone to supplant Jokic. I just think he's much better than the 2 and 3. And that's all I got. I'll give this to you, and I'll let you close it out.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Like I said earlier in the video, if you guys have not seen our power forward, small forward, shooting guard, or point guard, please go check that out. And let us know where we made mistakes. Who have we left off the list? I obviously had to make a change of mind. So what does your list look like? And thank you guys for listening.